Why do intelligent people get manipulated? Why do kind people get used to it? Why do talented people lose to those who are less talented but more strategic? Because they are fighting with skill, while their enemies are fighting with psychology. Every day, people surrender their power without realizing it. They react emotionally. They seek approval. They reveal too much. They trust too quickly. And in doing so, they hand control of their lives to others. In this video, you will discover how to become cold, not heartless, but untouchable. How to develop the focus that makes distractions powerless, and how to become psychologically strong enough that manipulation, betrayal, and defeat can no longer control your future. These are lessons inspired by Niccolò Machiavelli, a man who understood a truth most people spend their entire lives avoiding. The world does not reward innocence, it rewards awareness. Niccolò Machiavelli spent his life studying power. He observed kings rise and fall. He witnessed alliances formed in the morning and betrayals committed before sunset. He learned that the greatest weakness was not lack of intelligence, wealth, or strength. The greatest weakness was being predictable. A predictable person can be manipulated. A distracted person can be controlled. An emotional person can be defeated. But a cold and focused mind becomes nearly impossible to conquer. Today, we live in a different world, yet human nature remains exactly the same. People still seek advantage. They still exploit weakness. They still manipulate emotions for personal gain. The battlefield has changed. Human psychology has not. And if you wish to protect your peace, your future, and your power, you must learn the same lessons Machiavelli discovered centuries ago. This is how to become cold, focused, and impossible to manipulate or defeat. Here's Keynote 1, expanded into a YouTube narration script in a Machiavelli-style tone. Stop being emotionally available to everyone. Niccolò Machiavelli understood something about human nature that most people never realize until it is too late. The greatest prison is not built from iron bars. It is built from emotional dependence. The moment your peace depends on how others treat you, your freedom is gone. The moment your confidence depends on praise, your power belongs to someone else. The moment your mood can be destroyed by a single criticism, a single rejection, or a single betrayal, you are no longer controlling your life. Someone else is. Look carefully at the world around you. Most people are not making decisions. They are reacting to opinions, reacting to social pressure, reacting to approval, reacting to fear, reacting to emotions they never learned to control. And because they react so easily, they become easy to manipulate. A manipulator does not need superior intelligence. A manipulator only needs access to your fears, access to your insecurities, access to your need for validation. Once they discover what emotionally controls you, they discover how to control you. If they know you fear rejection, they threaten rejection. If they know you crave approval, they offer approval. If they know you fear loneliness, they use loneliness against you. The game is always the same. Methods simply change. This is why Machiavelli believed that power begins with self-control, because nobody can use what you refuse to surrender. Think about how many people spend their lives trying to be liked. They constantly adjust themselves to fit the expectations of others. They hide their true opinions. They tolerate disrespect. They accept poor treatment. They sacrifice their boundaries. And all of it for one reason, a desperate desire to be accepted. But acceptance purchased through weakness is never respect. It is dependency. And dependency is dangerous. The person who cannot tolerate disapproval becomes a servant to public opinion. The person who cannot tolerate criticism becomes a prisoner of other people's words. The person who cannot tolerate rejection becomes vulnerable to exploitation. This is why emotional detachment is not cruelty, it is protection. It is the ability to separate your emotions from your decisions. It is the ability to feel without obeying every feeling. Most people believe strength means suppressing emotion. Machiavelli would disagree. The strongest individuals are not those who feel nothing. They are those who feel everything and reveal little. They experience anger, but anger does not control them. They experience disappointment, but disappointment does not stop them. They experience betrayal, but betrayal does not destroy them. They understand a simple truth. Emotions are advisors, not rulers. Imagine a king who allows every visitor to dictate the laws of his kingdom. One visitor arrives with praise. The king changes direction. Another arrives with criticism. The king changes direction again. Another arrives with fear. The king changes direction once more. Such a kingdom would collapse. Yet this is exactly how many people live. Every opinion changes them. Every comment affects them. Every insult wounds them. Every compliment controls them. Their emotions are constantly being governed by external forces. A powerful mind refuses this arrangement. A powerful mind listens carefully, observes quietly, and responds deliberately. It does not rush to defend itself. It does not rush to explain itself. It does not rush to prove itself. Because true confidence has no need to convince. Notice the individuals who possess real power. They are rarely the loudest people in the room. They do not react immediately. They do not become emotional over every disagreement. They do not waste energy trying to win every argument. Instead, they remain calm. They observe. They calculate. They wait. And waiting is a form of strength that weak minds cannot understand. When someone insults them, they do not immediately retaliate. When someone challenges them, they do not instantly become defensive. When someone attempts to provoke them, they recognize the trap, because they understand that emotional reactions often benefit the person who created them. The one who controls your emotions controls your behavior. The one who controls your behavior controls your future. This is why becoming cold is not about becoming heartless. It is about becoming disciplined. It is about refusing to place your emotional well-being into the hands of strangers. It is about learning to remain steady while others become unstable. It is about becoming the kind of person who cannot be pushed, pulled, manipulated, or provoked by every passing circumstance. Because the moment you stop giving people access to your emotional buttons, you become infinitely harder to control. And for the first time in your life, your mind begins to belong entirely to you. Ruthless focus. Machiavelli understood a truth that modern society desperately tries to ignore. Power does not belong to the most talented, it does not belong to the smartest, it does not even belong to the strongest. Power belongs to the person who can remain focused while everyone else is distracted. Look around you. Never before in human history have people had access to so much information, and yet never before have people struggled so much to concentrate. Their minds are divided in 1,000 directions. One moment they are chasing a goal. The next moment they are comparing themselves to strangers. One moment they are building their future. The next moment they are scrolling through meaningless distractions. They begin projects and abandon them. They create plans and forget them. They dream of greatness while living in constant interruption. And then they wonder why success never arrives. Machiavelli would not be surprised, because he understood that distraction is one of the most effective forms of self-destruction. The enemy does not always need to stop you. Sometimes all they need to do is distract you. A distracted warrior is easier to defeat than a weak warrior, because weakness can be strengthened. Distraction quietly steals years. Think carefully about this. Every great achievement in human history was built through concentrated effort. Every empire, every masterpiece, every fortune, every victory. Behind all of them was a person capable of directing their energy toward a single objective for long periods of time. While others were entertained, they were working. While others were arguing, they were improving. While others were seeking attention, they were building. This is why focus is not simply a productivity skill. It is a weapon that separates extraordinary people from ordinary ones. Most people wake up and immediately surrender control of their attention. Notifications tell them what to think about. Social media tells them what to care about. Other people's opinions tell them how to feel. Their mind is no longer their own. It belongs to whoever captures their attention first. And attention is the most valuable resource you possess. Because where attention goes, energy follows. And where energy follows, results appear. If your attention is scattered, your life becomes scattered. If your attention is controlled, your life becomes controlled. But if your attention is disciplined, your future becomes disciplined. Machiavelli observed rulers, generals, and leaders throughout history. The individuals who changed the world shared one characteristic. They were obsessed with their objective. Not interested, obsessed. They understood something that average people never learn. A goal cannot be achieved casually. Greatness demands sacrifice. It demands the willingness to ignore what everyone else considers important. The focused individual stops seeking entertainment every moment they feel uncomfortable. They stop chasing constant stimulation. They stop looking for shortcuts. They stop expecting motivation to appear, because motivation is unreliable. Discipline is reliable. And discipline is simply focus repeated every day. Many people believe they lack opportunity. In reality, they often lack concentration. They spend years starting over, years switching directions, years chasing new trends, years abandoning plans the moment progress becomes difficult. They confuse movement with advancement. But motion is not progress. Being busy is not the same as being effective. Running in circles still leaves you in the same place. The ruthless individual understands this. They choose a direction and remain committed. While others become distracted by temporary pleasures, they remain loyal to long-term rewards. While others seek comfort, they seek growth. While others seek validation, they seek mastery. And this creates a frightening advantage, because focused effort compounds over time. A single day of discipline may seem insignificant. A single week may seem insignificant. A single month may seem insignificant. But years of focused action create results that appear almost supernatural to those who never committed themselves. People often look at successful individuals and assume they possess extraordinary talent. What they fail to see are the thousands of hours spent concentrating while everyone else was distracted. The countless moments when they chose discipline over comfort. The countless moments when they remained committed while others surrendered. Machiavelli understood that every person is fighting two battles. The first battle exists in the outside world. The second battle exists inside the mind. And the internal battle is always more important, because before you can conquer obstacles, you must conquer distraction. Before you can control circumstances, you must control attention. Before you can achieve power, you must master focus. The modern world profits from your distraction. Every platform competes for your attention. Every headline competes for your attention. Every trend competes for your attention. Every controversy competes for your attention, because whoever controls your focus controls the direction of your life. The ruthless individual recognizes this hidden war. They become selective about what enters their mind, selective about who receives their time, selective about what deserves their attention. They understand that every unnecessary distraction is stealing energy from something that truly matters, and over time, they develop a level of concentration that most people can barely imagine. A concentration so powerful that while others are endlessly reacting to the world around them, they continue moving relentlessly toward their objective. Their mission becomes stronger than temptation, stronger than comfort, stronger than fear, stronger than public opinion, stronger than every distraction designed to pull them away from their path. Psychological awareness. Narrator. One of the most dangerous mistakes a person can make is believing that everyone is exactly what they appear to be. Machiavelli spent years observing politicians, rulers, generals, merchants, and ordinary citizens, and after witnessing countless alliances, betrayals, victories and downfalls, he discovered a truth that remains unchanged centuries later. People rarely reveal their true intentions immediately. Instead, they reveal what is useful for you to see. Human beings are masters of presentation. They know how to appear loyal when loyalty benefits them. They know how to appear kind when kindness serves a purpose. They know how to appear trustworthy when trust grants them access. This does not mean everyone is malicious. It means human nature is complicated. And those who fail to understand this reality often become victims of it. Most people move through life assuming words are enough. They hear promises and believe them. They hear compliments and trust them. They hear reassurance and depend on it. Machiavelli would warn you that words are among the cheapest resources in existence. Anyone can speak, anyone can promise, anyone can pretend. The true test of character is behavior, because behavior reveals motives that words attempt to hide. This is where psychological awareness begins. It begins with observation, not paranoia, not cynicism. Observation, the ability to notice patterns that others ignore. The ability to recognize intentions hidden beneath appearances. The ability to understand what people do rather than becoming hypnotized by what they say. Look carefully at how manipulation works. Rarely does it arrive wearing a mask labeled manipulation. It arrives disguised as something pleasant. Sometimes it appears as concern. Sometimes it appears as affection. Sometimes it appears as friendship. Sometimes it appears as advice. And because it arrives wearing a friendly face, people lower their defenses. A manipulator understands a simple principle. Direct control creates resistance. Indirect control creates obedience. Instead of ordering you to do something, they make you feel guilty if you refuse. Instead of forcing your decision, they create emotional pressure around it. Instead of demanding compliance, they make compliance seem like your own idea. This is why so many intelligent people get manipulated. Not because they are foolish, but because they are unaware of the psychological game being played. Machiavelli understood that emotions are often used as tools of influence. Guilt, fear, sympathy, obligation, approval. These emotions can become invisible chains. The moment someone discovers which emotion controls you most, they discover the easiest path into your mind. If guilt controls you, they use guilt. If fear controls you, they use fear. If approval controls you, they use approval. Strategy changes according to the weakness. This is why self-awareness and psychological awareness are inseparable. To understand others, you must first understand yourself. You must know your vulnerabilities before someone else discovers them. Because what remains unconscious can be exploited. What becomes conscious can be defended. The psychologically aware individual develops a habit that most people never learn. They pay attention to inconsistencies. When words and actions do not align, they notice. When promises and behavior contradict each other, they notice. When someone's public image differs from their private conduct, they notice. While others become emotionally attached to appearances, they remain focused on evidence. And evidence rarely lies. Machiavelli also recognized another uncomfortable truth. Many people reveal themselves through their reactions. Watch how someone behaves when they do not get what they want. Watch how someone responds to boundaries. Watch how someone reacts when their influence is reduced. A person may appear patient until they are denied. A person may appear kind until they are challenged. A person may appear loyal until loyalty becomes costly. Pressure exposes character. Pressure removes masks. Pressure reveals motivations. This is why wise individuals observe people during moments of discomfort, Because anyone can appear virtuous when circumstances are favorable. Character becomes visible when circumstances become difficult. Psychological awareness also requires understanding that not every battle deserves participation. Many conflicts are traps disguised as opportunities. Many arguments are designed to provoke emotional reactions. Many confrontations are attempts to pull you into someone else's emotional chaos. The unaware person reacts immediately. The aware person pauses. They ask themselves a simple question: who benefits from my reaction? Because reactions have consequences, and strategic individuals never give reactions away for free. They understand that information is power. Every emotional outburst reveals information. Every impulsive response reveals information. Every uncontrolled reaction reveals information. And information can be used against you. The psychologically aware person therefore becomes difficult to read, not because they are dishonest, but because they understand the value of restraint. They do not reveal every thought. They do not expose every weakness. They do not announce every intention. They allow observation to become stronger than expression. While others rush to speak, they listen. While others rush to trust, they evaluate. While others rush to judge, they analyze. Because they understand that the world is filled with hidden motives, hidden agendas, hidden incentives, and hidden desires. And the individual who learns to see beneath the surface gains an advantage that cannot be purchased, borrowed, or inherited. An advantage that allows them to recognize manipulation before it takes hold, to identify deception before it causes damage, to understand people before people understand them. Strategic power. Most people spend their lives trying to become stronger. Few spend their lives trying to become strategic. That is why so many talented individuals lose battles they should have won. Machiavelli observed this pattern repeatedly throughout history. He watched powerful rulers lose kingdoms. He watched intelligent men lose influence. He watched brave warriors lose wars. Not because they lacked strength, but because they lacked strategy. Strength can win a confrontation. Strategy can win an entire future. The difference is enormous. A strong person thinks about the next move. A strategic person thinks about the next 10 moves. And in a world filled with uncertainty, the ability to think ahead becomes one of the greatest forms of power a human being can possess. Look carefully at how most people make decisions. They focus on what feels good today, what sounds attractive today, what solves an immediate problem today. But strategic individuals operate differently. They understand that every decision creates consequences. Every action creates reactions. Every choice creates future realities. While others focus on the present moment, they focus on the chain reaction that follows. This ability alone separates leaders from followers, because the future belongs to those who prepare for it before it arrives. Machiavelli understood that many defeats occur long before the battle begins. People lose because they fail to anticipate, they fail to prepare, they fail to recognize danger while danger is still small, and by the time the threat becomes visible, it is already too late. This principle applies to every area of life.